All right, welcome to the Fully Loaded Podcast. I'm your host, Jared, and sitting next to me today is Pretty Peter Avalon. He threatened to punch me if I didn't put Pretty in front of it.
That's right, the biggest man in pro wrestling, Pretty Peter Avalon. First name is Pretty, my middle name is Peter.
Oh, that's interesting.
I got to get it legally changed, too.
Legally changed. It's like Adam Lakers Corolla, because his parents were too lazy to give him a middle name.
Awesome.
So he just gave himself Lakers at the DMV.
Awesome.
Oh, so
that's awesome. I didn't know he did that.
You can follow us on Twitter at Fully Loaded Pro, and you can follow Peter.
Twitter.com/Pavalon, P-Avalon, one word.
Well, there you go. So, the social media plugs out of the way. You got Instagram too, right?
Yep, that's good. My Instagram is PPA all day, as well as my Snapchat. I got a Facebook, facebook.com/Peter Avalon.
I don't understand the Snapchat thing.
Man, all I know is that I think you send naked pictures to everyone, right? I think that's how.
I don't think that's right. I don't think you're doing Snapchat right.
I don't think I'm doing it right either.
Well, if you want to see naked Peter, check out his Snapchat. Oh, and if you hear some random bumping in the background, we do have a seminar by the heavyweight champion Chainsaw King about 15 feet in front of us here.
It's a fantastic seminar. Fully Loaded Wrestling really bringing good seminars.
You did one last time you were here, right?
Yes,
Back in May.
Did. I enjoyed it. I had a good group of kids, and it was a lot of fun.
How long have you been doing this, wrestling thing?
Oh, man, I've been wrestling now since 2008, November 2008 to 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 8 years.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
You've done a lot in your 8 years.
8 years, and I've been involved for almost 10, so.
Did you start with the Pretty gimmick, or is that?
I did. My first 2 matches, I didn't have Pretty on the name, and this guy that was out here, Shane Haste, he wrestles as Shane Thorne now in NXT.
Oh, okay.
He kept telling me I had such pretty hair, Peter. Your hair's so pretty. You're pretty hair, Peter Avalon. Pretty, pretty. And I was like, yeah. Everyone's like, yeah, you should call yourself that. I was like, yeah, maybe. So we were kind of just running by. I never ran with it. And then Scott Lost. He was like, why don't you just go by Pretty? I was like, there it is.
There it is.
Yep.
It's interesting, just an organic thing to come up like that.
Yeah. And it works with the alliteration, Pretty Peter, and it flows.
Yeah. You've done, you've traveled, like you said, you and Yuma have wrestled. We just had you guys wrestle last night, and you can watch that on the Fight app at some point. I'm sure it'll come up later after this podcast drops. But you and Yuma have wrestled, like, countless times, haven't you?
We've wrestled all over North America, it seems like. California tons of times. Mexico.
Yeah, that was interesting when you guys have wrestled in Mexico. Where was that?
It was in TJ at the Auditorio down there. It was when Alberto Del Rio got canned the first time. He had like his return show there.
Oh, okay.
And it was packed. It was beautiful.
For AAA or for somebody else?
It was Baja Stars. It was a company called Baja Stars, and they used a bunch of AAA guys. They packed the 5,000-seat arena. Everyone was there to see Del Rio. We did a title switch when we had the Heritage Tag Team titles. It was me and Ray Rosas, and we lost them to Rock Ness Monsters, Yuma, and Good Time.
Nice. Yeah, that's you right now. You mostly you'll be known for that the championships of the championship wrestling out of Hollywood, right?
Yeah, I'm the championship wrestling from Hollywood Heritage Champion. I've been the champion for over a year, so I am the longest reigning champion in our 5-6 year history.
Shout out to them. You can watch them on Fight too, I believe.
Yeah,
right?
we're
like every Sunday, right?
Buddies on Fight, so that's good.
Yeah. I like that Fight app. You can watch all kinds of great stuff on there. They have the Al Snow. Have you watched any of his like training seminar videos on there?
I didn't know that he had
those. They have like 8-minute training seminars that are just awesome. Like he trains. They're interesting even for someone like I don't wrestle, but I'll watch those and be like, oh, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
like,
no, that's awesome. I'll have to check them out. Yeah, I haven't really browsed too much of the Fight app because a lot of stuff they charge, and I'm like, I don't want to pay.
Yeah, a lot of that live stream stuff is charged, but then they got that new like Flow Slam. Is that new thing? It's like $20 a month.
Yeah,
and you can get a lot of stuff for that.
I think it's a bunch of indie wrestling from all over the country.
Yeah, you got like Evolve and House of Hardcore.
Isn't it owned by WWE?
No.
No,
I don't know who does it. I think it's, it might even be like What Culture, I think does.
Oh.
But I don't know exactly who. If I'm getting that wrong, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
You can yell at me.
I've briefly heard about them, and I obviously this stuff posted on Facebook. I'm like, what is that? So I'll have to go look at myself.
But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the fight. No.
Oh, yeah.
So who trained you? How did you get trained?
The school I went to is now defunct. It was called the Venus Fighting Essence. What it was
it was a beautiful name.
It's a beautiful name. It was an all-girls school.
Oh, okay.
Originally, the idea was to have an all-girls school in Stanton, California, which is legit right next door to Anaheim.
You just walked in with the pretty hair, and we got to have this guy.
They were accepting women, and then they posted on this website called SoCal Uncensored, which is a website out in California that's about all the shows and stuff. So they posted it saying, we're now accepting guys, clearly because I'm sure not enough business.
Not enough girls, yeah.
So me and a friend of mine, Chris, who's we call Googles, me and him went to training on actually my 18th birthday, June 14,
nice.
2007. So
wow,
yeah,
so on your 18th birthday,
I got into the business. Yeah.
How long between training to your first match? Some guys just get thrown in there, and then some guys
get thrown in there, and I don't agree with that. I mean, it depends on, of course, the development of the person. But
yeah.
I had my actual first match 3-4 months into training under a mask at like a real light student show. It was just like family friends at the show, no admission. So that was like my first match. First match with Peter Avalon was in 2008. So I had 6 months of training with that first match under the mask, and then I broke my arm.
Ooh.
And I had to stop training for like 8-9 months. But
Break your arm wrestling, or
I did it in a practice match. I did a frog splash off the top. I beat the guy with the frog splash, and all my trainers were like, "Ah, that was great, Peter. You're ready for shows." I was like, "I don't think so." And I lifted up my arm, and it's flopping there, and one of the bones, it wasn't sticking out, but like I couldn't control my arm, and I was like, "I gotta go to the hospital."
Yeah, that'd be enough for like a lot of people to just give up right there.
It sucked, man, because I had to get surgery.
Yeah.
I have this beautiful scar now here on my wrist. Because I had to get a plate put in and then a plate taken out, and this is the surgery on the same spot.
Should have kept the plate. You could have done the
Lex Luger.
Yeah, the loaded forearm gimmick, brother.
I wish, man. But no, they had to take it out because I think it's called a stress fracture or a stress break or something. That it would break on the end of each side of the plate if I put too much pressure on it. So it's like,
okay. All right, I guess that's worth more than the gimmick.
Yeah.
Health.
So, my health. So they take that out. I had a little bit of recoup time, and then I came back and started training at EWF and AWS, two companies out in LA. And then I want to say maybe 3-4 months into that training, I did a show for EWF in November of 2008.
That was as Peter Avalon?
As just Peter Avalon, yes.
Nice. Okay. Damn, man. You've traveled the world. You've worked for like companies like Pro Wrestling Guerrilla and TNA.
Man. I just had my debut in Combat Zone. I worked for freelance up in Chicago. So 2016, you guys brought me up for the first time. 2016 is probably my not a very good year personally, but professionally this was fantastic. Like, it was fantastic. I meet you, I meet Aaron, I meet different friends here at Fully Loaded. I got to meet fantastic Midwest workers from all over. I get to work this incredible hotel in front of these people.
Such a unique venue. People always point that out.
Excuse my French. I don't know.
Oh, go ahead. You can swear.
Oh, okay.
We're on the Suplex City Limits channel, and those guys like every other word's the F word, so we're fine.
All right. I blend in then.
Yeah.
No, this is truly one of like my favorite spots. I've only worked here once, I guess twice now since yesterday. But it's fantastic. Like, it really is. The crowd's hot. The hotels, it's nice and warm right now. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, you're a California boy, and you came up at the wrong time. It's -40 with the wind chill today.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I'm seeing this -18 when I post a Snapchat, like the filter, and I'm like, what? That's legit? That's real?
That's the temperature, but the wind chill is actually colder.
Yeah, that's what Darren Corbin was telling us, warning me and Yuma. So I went shopping and bought these thermals. Yeah. I don't own any warm stuff. Like, the warmest thing I had was a hoodie. So I had to go and get like a thermal. I was like, flip-flops and basketball shorts should be fine for up here, right?
So were you born in California? Did you move to California?
I was born and raised in California, born in Burbank, and I've lived in Rancho Cucamonga for a long time.
Really?
Yeah.
You and the Young Bucks, the only people from Rancho Cucamonga.
Exactly. That's weird. 3 wrestlers from... But yeah, no, they're there. My neighbors, I guess, somewhere. Oh, man. Combat Zone, huh? Combat Zone was incredible, man.
Oh, man. Like, are you doing the hardcore stuff out there? Or do you
get to do
the,
I'm not a fan of the hardcore stuff, but I know Combat Zone's born and bred on that, so I respect it, and I respect them for it.
I do too, yeah.
I love DJ Hyde, and he's a great guy, and Combat Zone just joined the United Network with Championship Wrestling, Championship Wrestling from Arizona, and a couple other feds we're trying to get going. DJ Hyde's firmly behind the idea, and they're starting to bring out a lot of talent from the West Coast. I was the first. They brought me out as with the belt to defend the belt against Shane Strickland. Ryan Taylor was the second. He did beautifully in a 4-way, and then Yuma came by himself, and then came with Kevin Martinson, formerly Good Time, for the 4th time. So we're making a nice transition. I believe we're going to bring some Combat Zone guys over to Championship Wrestling from Hollywood next year. So
I was loving like we got the thing with FSW, Future Stars of Wrestling.
Yeah, I heard you guys talk about that yesterday, and I love that.
Yeah, anytime you can work with another company and everybody's not all jealous of everybody else, it's like, let's just make it bigger and make it better for everyone. You know?
Let's all make money instead of trying to take your money and I take. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, rather than trying to steal 10 cents from you, let's both make $1.
Exactly. Exactly. That's better way to put it.
Yeah, sometimes I come up with gems like that. Oh, man. So if you had to pick, and this was actually a fan question from when I posted on Facebook.
Oh, cool.
Favorite match you've ever had? I know that's always a tough one. I know I asked Cannon, and he's like, there's just too many.
There's a lot of them. I'll give you ones that I like. Maybe one of my ones with Yuma at PWG. just because we were so young in the business, and they finally gave us an opportunity to have a singles.
Yeah.
So that one was up there.
How do you get on a show like that? It's so stacked. Like everybody wants on those shows.
I mean, it helped that we were locals in LA.
Yeah.
But we were the best. We were the best locals.
Yeah.
It's not there's no bad. We don't have bad locals. We have incredible wrestlers that are,
The California scene is just blown up.
It's incredible. Like the whole. I want to say the whole West Coast scene. Like Arizona's becoming a beautiful environment.
Yeah.
Vegas is fantastic.
Yep.
Oregon is always on the up and up. Washington now has a scene. They've never had a scene, but now they have a scene. And California, all over NorCal, SoCal, that's doing fantastic.
I was gonna say people tend to forget the history of California wrestling.
Yeah.
Like the Cow Palace and all that stuff.
They
But
do.
it's like for whatever reason people are always like, well, you got Minnesota and you got Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, but they forget about how some of the best wrestlers that have ever been have come out of California.
And wrestling's all over the world. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, back to your favorite matches.
I had a cage match with Ryan Taylor at Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, and that was a big one for me just because it was like one of my first big main events, and by myself. I would usually when I was booked with people in Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, I was in a bunch of stables. I was in a 4-man stable with like Adam Pearce, Joey Chaos, and Austin Aries, and I just kept going from group to group to group, and then this is like my first time by myself.
Yeah.
So it was a big deal for me. So
they trusted you to be in a cage match main event. That means a lot to you.
Yeah, as a bad guy, Ryan Taylor got color. Like it was a big deal for me. We did top stuff off the top rope in the cage. Like good.
Have you ever bled in a match?
What's the best way to put it? Yes, hard way.
Okay.
Because of Kevin Martinson, I got this beautiful scar above my eyebrow here, my left eyebrow. We had a tag team title match, and it was like Anywhere Falls. Yuma had rolled me up I rolled Yuma into a pinfall, and Martinson was going to break it by throwing this just heavy wood chair, and Yuma kicked out. I turned my face, and the chair just obliterated my face. Yeah, I had to go to the hospital and get a bunch of stitches, and then I knew it was effed up when they were pulling white paint chips out of it, and I was like, oh, good. Oh, good. That chair destroyed my face.
Well, that's like Cannon was telling me, and he was actually on the podcast, he was pulling glass out of his head from a match.
Yeah.
And he thought he got it all, but there just kept being blood and blood and blood. He finally got out of the shower, and he's like, pulled a big piece of glass out of his head.
Oh, that's unbelievable, man.
But he was like, I didn't have any money, so we just glued it closed.
That works. I've had a couple glue ones. There's a little cut under my eye. I was like, damn, that's really deep. Super glued it. It's fine. Felt like Sabu.
Who would you say, and no disrespect to anybody you've wrestled, but like who's your favorite person to wrestle? Is it Yuma, or is there somebody else you're just like, I know?
I would say Yuma. Yuma's probably one of my favorites. As much as Kevin hurts me, Kevin Martinson's up there. Scorpio Sky, Ryan Taylor. Recently, I just started getting to wrestle him as Eric Watts from Tough Enough a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
Big Afro.
Yeah.
He's fantastic, and I finally had my first singles match with him at the Championship Wrestling from Hollywood tapings a couple of weeks ago, and he's fantastic.
For a second, I thought you meant Bill Watts' kid.
No.
What? You're the only guy to say that.
No, SoCal's Eric Watts. He's big brother with that afro, and he's fantastic.
So how'd you get in with TNA? Did you send them tape, or did they see you?
They reached out. They needed somebody to do the gimmick with EC3 at Bound for Glory, and I think Kazarian reached out to Joey Ryan, and then Joey reached out to me, and I was like, all right, I'll do it. That'd be fantastic.
I would say they have that match speaking of Joey, that match with Joey from PWG, I don't know if it was singles, I can't remember, but that's probably your more famous match out in PWG.
Steen. My most famous one was Kevin Steen. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I had an opener with Kevin Steen at a show where I forgot what happened. I was supposed to have a tag match. It was supposed to be me and Ray Rosas versus Brian Cage and Ryan Taylor when they were doing the brothers thing.
Oh, okay.
And Ryan Taylor couldn't make it, so they put Cage against Rosas, and then me in the opener with Steen. And the clip that always gets shared is funny. It's I hit him with the Booker T Harlem sidekick, and then I go for the spinneroonie. I stop halfway, and I give the bird to the finger, or the finger to the crowd.
Share that on Twitter.
Yeah. And then here comes Kevin Steen out of nowhere and squishes me with the senton, and then he does a spinneroonie. So I think it's appropriate for the Booker T show.
It's pretty appropriate.
Yeah.
How do you, people always say, PWG shows are insane.
They're nuts.
Everybody goes over the top. Are you guys encouraged to go over the top, or do they just say, do whatever you guys want to do, and it just kind of becomes this thing where everybody has to one-up everybody else?
Back when I was there as a local, honestly, it was stressful. Like, the back was stressful because you're there with guys who were considered stars.
Yeah.
Chris Heroes and Steens and AJ Styles. And at one point I was on a show with D-Bry. And it's like, it's kind of nerve-wracking because they're going to go out there and they're going to kill it. So it's like you want to be there and you want to be looked at as the same. So it was stressful, but they kind of gave you free reign. Just go out there and kill it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we do here because I'm not a wrestler. Aaron's not a wrestler, so we're just like, give you a finish, and then it's like, all right, you guys can put it together. How you guys want to put it together? And I think that's, to me, that's like the best way is just let the guys organically do something like that, you know?
Yeah.
And me sitting there going, all right, here's what I need from you, this, and this, and this.
Yeah.
Oh, then you got to do this. And it's like,
they're using the best talent in the world, guys that are like on the verge of getting signed. It's like, of course they know what they're doing.
Yeah. The guy who's been impressing me out there recently is Dalton Castle. Have you ever wrestled?
Yeah,
Dalton?
I've never wrestled him, but I like his peacock thing that he has going.
That's so good.
Yeah. He's funny, and he's super strong from what I've seen.
Yeah. I've seen him deadlift German bigger guys like Silas Young. And you're just like, we had Silas here back in, must have been January.
That's cool.
God, he's good. He's really good.
Yeah, Ring of Honor guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think you just said an exclusive. Ring of Honor's doing that a lot now, getting exclusives on guys.
Yeah, so seems like a couple guys are pulling away from those exclusives and trying to do other stuff, and who knows?
Yeah, the wrestling scene for me, and we're seeing it, has never been hotter for the independent scene.
Yeah.
At least since I've been paying attention, which was like 15 years ago to the independent scene.
You're right.
You know?
That's why I was putting over like a lot of the different scenes, because like there would be good scenes and then scenes on the up and up that weren't that good. But it seems like all the scenes that are all over the country are starting to get really, really good. This is like the best I've ever seen indie wrestlers all over the country, not just one part of the country.
Yeah, I feel like we've brought in guys from the West Coast, so now I'm starting to see other Midwest companies start to bring guys in, like, the Gents just did
Dreamwave,
yeah. Which, shout out to Dreamwave, they just had their last show,
yeah,
so it's unfortunate.
That sucks.
But the guy, he did everything he wanted to do, so congratulations to them. It sounded like it was a money thing. They just did everything they wanted to do. But and then you just did freelance.
Yeah, they just also had Swade Thompson up there, too, another West Coast guy, who you guys have used. He's fantastic.
Yeah, we used him a few times.
Yeah. So I really see the embrace of a lot of people now for the West Coast as opposed to just, the Philly East Coast area.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I see a lot of East Coast guys go West Coast now, too.
Yeah.
So it's like
everybody wants to come in and work Gorilla, so.
Yeah, everybody does.
They really do. Everyone wants to be in Bola.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I just saw, last night they had, and I know what, Aaron's going to yell at me, but we actually have Jeff Cobb coming in February.
Oh, sweet.
I saw him, he just did like a surprise spot at the Gorilla Show last night. He tweeted that out. He's like, I guess I'm going to crash this party.
He's awesome, man. I like Jeff Cobb a lot.
He just throws people.
Yeah, he
just comes up with new ways to suplex people.
There's so many just stupid strong people. It's like, how? How are you so strong? Him, Kevin Martinson, Willie Mack. Those are the three that I'm like, hey, how?
Yeah, I don't know how he does that. What is it called? The Islands Plex, where he brings you all the way down to the ground and just tosses you.
Yeah, man, he's stupid, freaky strength.
It's an Olympic wrestling background.
That's what it is, yeah. And Guam big boy.
So we've talked about your favorite matches, your favorite opponents, all that stuff. I think we've touched on everything we want to touch on. You're hungry. I'll cut this at about 20 minutes. We'll be all right, I think, because we do have, I believe, Rob Page and Christian Rose want to have a debate.
Awesome. About
on what the stupidest gimmick in the history of wrestling is, and I have a feeling someone's going to bring up the gobbledygooker.
Oh, well,
What's your opinion?
That I think is the consensus, is the gobbledygooker.
Oh, I think it's either Page or Rose has something that they think is even dumber.
Really?
Yeah. So you think it's gobbledygooker?
I'll go with gobbledygooker, yeah.
I was thinking it was Shockmaster.
Oh, shit. I think it's maybe a toss-up between those two.
Yeah,
those are pretty
Shockmaster.
infamous.
Yeah, or Hornswoggle being Vince's son might be up there too. Now, there's a lot of stupid stuff.
Or the Katie Vick.
Oh yeah, the Katie Vick with Kane.
I was just talking about that like a couple days ago to someone. I can't remember like the context of it, but we were just making fun of like the stuff Triple H was saying during the bit. Like,
what's funny is that bit was in 2002.
Yeah.
And an interview from like 2004 with Triple H just hit the internet again recently, where he was talking about how awkward it was because there was like an actual funeral going on in the funeral home next to where they were doing it, and Vince is yelling lines to Triple, "You gotta make it darker."
Oh God, that's incredible.
But that's where he came up with the, "Oh my God, I did it! I humped your brains out." What are you doing?
Awesome.
Who thought that was a good idea?
Who thought the entire thing at all was a good idea?
See, we thought you started with thinking gobbledygooker was the obvious victor here.
Yeah.
I can make a case for a few other things.
I think so. Those might be the top.
Sometimes I'm embarrassed by our business.
It's people reaching. What haven't we done yet? Let's do a big giant turkey hatch out of an egg.
And let's put a Guerrero in it. Let's proud family. Let's put a Guerrero in it.
Yeah, proud family. Yeah, let's embarrass them. Let's do that. Damn.
All right. Well, I think that'll do it. We'll hand it over to Paige and Rose. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, man. I had a lot
of fun.
We'll
get some lunch. I know you're hungry. Stay warm. There's gloves over there.
Thanks for having me.
You bet.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Fully Loaded Wrestling is going to present you with a very special treat today. I am Christian Rose. I am being joined by an incredibly hungover and distraught Ref Rob Page.
Ahoy, hoy.
Ahoy, hoy. We are here today to discuss, debate, and possibly fist fight over the following topic of... Also, when I say that he's hungover... we had to go get him out of his room. He looks like Gollum at the end of the movie right now. He's just distraught.
It was a rough night, but I'm going to soldier on.
Whiskey, correct?
Oh, yeah, all whiskey all the time.
Yeah, dark liquor doesn't get along with me either.
No.
Regardless, we are here today to debate the following topic. What is the dumbest gimmick that has ever been done in professional wrestling? And I think a few specifications, maybe ground rules. This is specifically gimmicks as in characters and performers. This is not a storyline or an angle.
Not the Katie Vick raping.
Correct.
Not stupid shit like that.
Had we seen Katie Vick on camera as a reanimated sexual assault victim from beyond the grave, definitely a contender. But
probably we wouldn't even be arguing this.
No, I would say she would undoubtedly have been the queen. There would be no debate. But anyways, here we are. So I'm going to be a gentleman and turn the floor over to Rob and let him suggest his champion of dumbest gimmick of all time.
After acquiring and coming into the possession of the entire year of 1995 World Championship Wrestling Saturday nights.
Ooh, oh man, you're swinging for the fences here. I'm
nothing good to say about the Dungeon of Doom. Nothing.
I would say it's because there is nothing good to say about the Dungeon of Doom. But okay, so my memory on this is kind of hazy, so I'm glad that you have studied.
Yeah.
This is where Big Show got his start, though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, yes.
So we're still going with nothing good has come from this.
Still nothing good has come from this. So during a live pay-per-view, Kevin Sullivan leaves a wrestling match to go to this Dungeon of Doom.
Do you know the location of the pay-per-view by chance?
I want to say it was the Great American Bash pay-per-view.
But I mean, do you know what city or
God. No.
I mean,
I wish
it
I
doesn't.
did.
I'm sure it doesn't matter.
Somewhere in the South, I'm sure.
Okay, yeah. So,
but the rails just keep going, and there's this horrible King Curtis Iakea dressed up as a mountain of a man who's just like, Sullivan, my son. Over and over and over. And
Sullivan was its son?
Apparently.
Wow. So there's but there were 5 or 6 creatures in this, weren't there?
So originally, he was gifted from the from King Curtis.
Okay.
He was gifted Kamala.
Okay.
Because you remember Kamala being
Obviously.
in WCW,
Yeah.
judging by the look on your face. Which is, if you could imagine, just
sheer confusion right now.
and what he was type look on his face. He was gifted that. He was gifted the Man of Yin and Yang, which was his original name before he became the Zodiac.
The Man of Yin and Yang.
Yep.
Wouldn't you think that would be better served for 2 members of this thing
to
have
think,
one that would be
yes,
yin and one that would be
but
yang?
It was just one. It was just Ed Brutus.
Did he have
Beefcake.
yin yangs on his?
No, it was just black and white face paint with his stupid look, and he was also gifted the Shark.
But none of these things even go together.
No, he was gifted Meng as an Aztec warrior, and the Giant. He was gifted the Giant.
So
in the war to end Hulkamania.
See, that I remember. I do very much remember the war. Because, like, everything, I feel like there was a bunch of things from this time period that was to end Hulkamania. Like, because there was the alliance to end Hulkamania that had, like, 7 people in it, didn't it?
Yep.
And then they did that
Which
weird
were-
cage match with Hogan and Savage against
Where they easily defeated
everyone.
all of them.
And for some reason, Flair takes the fall, even though
Oh,
he's
yeah,
like
because why would not say...
the football player dude, or
Why
was
would-
it an actor?
Yeah,
Like,
why would not say, like, the guy that played Bane in the crappy Batman and Robin movie?
that guy,
Why would he
yeah.
not take the pin? But let's have the
Arguably the greatest of all time.
greatest wrestlers of all time take the pin in this 10-man cluster mess of a match.
Because I don't remember so much of this, to recap, the Dungeon of Doom is Kevin Sullivan being gifted from some sort of omniscient Fraggle Rock monster god.
Oh, and he also got the Yeti!
Which was, okay, you know what always drove me nuts about the Yeti, by the way? So,
He's a fucking
we always remember-
flipping mummy.
exactly, like we always remember the Yeti from the Halloween Havoc segment, where he, like,
Yep.
like awkwardly bear
Drive
humps
him and Giant
yeah.
double team Hogan.
draw from that what you will, but like I just like because it's one of those classic crazy dusty commentary moments.
Yep.
It's the Yeti, and I remember like even as a child watching that and being like, "That's not a Yeti. A Yeti is an abominable snowman."
They ended our Nitro with him breaking out of blocks to go into the Halloween Havoc pay-per-view, to which they never showed like him on camera until he came out, and then Tony Schiavone's all like, "Oh, that's the Yeti." Wait, what?
Okay, so that's going to come into play for my argument for dumbest gimmick of all time.
Okay.
Do you have any for these opening statements? Do you have anything further for the Dungeon of Doom being your horse?
I got nothing else. I mean,
That's a lot. Don't get me wrong. A giant, a shark, the man of yin and yang,
Who was later
Kamala, Kevin Sullivan himself, I guess.
Yep.
And I feel like I'm already forgetting one of them.
Meng.
Ming,
yep.
the Aztec warrior. That's right.
Yeah,
A giant, an Aztec warrior, a
Meng
shark.
the Aztec warrior. After
Yes.
he was just a bounty hunter and.
Okay, so here we go. So my horse, my champion for dumbest gimmick of all time is,
Which is a doozy.
it really is, the Gobbledygooker. And so we're going to get into the actual back and forth here in a bit, and I have one trump card that I am going to play
Yep.
time and time again, and that is he is not a human being. I can accept a man being an Aztec warrior.
What about a shark?
I can accept a man in a shark suit calling himself the shark.
Who himself was 2 months earlier being known as an avalanche.
Yes, that's right. He really was just a lot of
Everything.
natural disasters.
Yeah,
But so anyway, so the Gobbledygooker. Now, when you're a kid and you're watching wrestling, you're kind of just like you're in this world, right?
Yep.
You are in this universe where people challenge each other to fight in the ring, and there's rules, but you know what I mean. Like you are transported to this universe contextually.
Yep.
Even as a child, I understood that they were not in the same building every week.
Right.
And they would say it like, hey, we're in Madison
we're
Square
in-
Garden. We're, in the...
Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
Exactly.
Or wherever. Yep.
So even as a kid, I understood, okay, these guys are traveling. The ring is torn down and moved and set up, and then like you get that if you get that chance to go to a live event when you're a kid, you see a lot of that. Okay, so I'm saying this for a reason here. Before the Gobbledygooker's debut at Survivor Series, 91, I believe.
90.
Okay, because
that's
it was a year
that's why I'm
before
good for
Taker.
this is that I got the years and
Yeah.
all the good stuff.
So in the weeks and maybe even months leading up to the debut, they just kept about once every episode showing a shot of this gigantic egg on a platform.
Which they would have to going back to the transport.
Exactly. So this was one of those earliest memories of me as a kid being like, this is stupid. And keep in mind, guys, I'm at this point just a child, and I'm figuring out that this is stupid.
Which is contrary to
most beliefs.
Yes.
I was once young. But guys, we know that at Survivor Series the egg is going to hatch. And I'm like, what laid that egg? And how do you know the due date?
Yeah,
Like-
how do you know exactly when an egg is going to hatch?
Like, human women cannot accurately tell you to the day when they are going to give birth.
yeah,
during
unless
pregnancy.
they're all like, I'm having my.
Yeah,
you know,
one way or another, this
Yeah.
thing's going to go.
Yeah.
But, like, they would just cut to that egg and be like, the egg's going to hatch. And I'm like, why is no one?
questioning.
Where did the egg come from?
Yep.
What massive abomination of nature snuck into one of your arenas and laid this egg and then abandoned it?
And then you guys are all like, you know what? Let's bring this
Yes,
with us.
when we tear the ring down tonight,
Hey guys, don't forget that giant egg over in the corner.
see that 8-foot egg? Make sure you make room in the truck for that, all right? You got that? Thanks, Ted.
Please make sure we get that in the truck.
So that in itself was, to me, that is a huge leap to make as a
Yep.
fan, that you just accept that that egg is there.
Yeah.
So then, at now Survivor Series 1990, there is several of these things involve Mean Gene Okerlund.
Yeah.
I love Mean Gene Okerlund.
Love Mean Gene. Great.
I was fortunate enough to be on a show with him. I got to do a promo with him one time. A great guy.
Yep.
I felt bad knowing that this guy, who is like a consummate professional and, again, probably one of the best at what he does ever. you know,
Easily.
having to deliver lines about this stupid egg. Because at one point on that pay-per-view, it might have been Mean Gene, it might have been one of the other commentators, but somebody definitely goes, and guys, the egg is going to hatch tonight. And again,
Probably Vince.
Probably Vince.
Probably Vince.
That sounded like Vince.
Just the
even
way
if
that
I
you,
did it. Yeah,
just
that's
the way
how I
that you were
remember,
saying
yeah.
it was.
Well, how do you know that?
Yeah.
And like, okay, to go. All right. So, anyways, the egg hatches.
Yep.
And we are then treated to the glory and the grandeur.
You ginormous air quotes when you say glory and grandeur.
That is the gobbledygooker, and it is.
Ugh.
I'm going to say
It's real effing bad.
It's at least a 6 foot, maybe like a 6'4" guy in a very bad
It was-
turkey suit.
Wasn't it Mondo?
Was it?
Mondo Guerrero?
Oh man, if it was,
It was either Mondo
it
or
might-
Hector. I think it was one of those two Guerreros.
Wow, that makes this
Yeah.
even better than
Yeah. Which makes it much better.
infinitely. So, it's just a turkey suit. It looks like a
Like
mascot.
the worst turkey suit that you could ever possibly even imagine.
And it's one of those things where, like, it doesn't even look. Okay.
Doesn't even really look like a turkey suit,
No,
to be honest.
it looks like a mascot. It
Yeah.
doesn't, like, obviously it can't blink, so it's just
No.
got these dead, lifeless eyes. Like, it's not got actual feathers. It's just, like, brown cloth cut into the shape of wings or what. Like, it's not even, it is high school mascot quality
it's
outfit.
definitely high school mascot.
And so then
bad.
Gene Okerlund says the now burned into my brain line of, oh, who, what? Don't tell me you're the gobbledygooker.
The gobbledygoo? What do you say?
So,
The gobbledygooker?
and again, I genuinely ask you, when he says, don't tell me, wait, you're the gobbledygooker, the turkey has not said anything.
Well, okay, so
How does Gene know?
You know what? Actually, the gooker
Does
or
it?
whatever
Yeah.
is like.
Okay, but is he hearing
And,
that
like,
and just being like, this is the
Gene
name I'm
himself
giving
is
you?
like, you're the gobbledygooker.
But it doesn't even, it at best says gobble.
Like that's it. That's what he says. It's like gobble a couple of times.
So, and then they dance to Turkey in the Straw, I believe.
Yeah, just some horrible line.
And if this happened in this day and age, which they absolutely should reboot the
You would think
gobbledygooker
that
for
maybe
2017.
they could do that on SmackDown or something.
And I think that now, with today's technology, if it was like a photorealistic, gigantic baby
they
turkey,
could
like with
CGI
no
the crap out
no
of it.
feathers or anything, and it's just an absolute, just horrifying mess of a creature, it would be better. Like, it needs to look like something from Jurassic World and Alien combined. But anyways,
I'm on board with this.
They proceed to then dance.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yep.
That's all.
But he shows up like a couple of other times, possibly going into like the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
But like he doesn't wrestle.
He at no point
He's just like
does
a mascot.
anything. Yeah. But for no one.
Yeah. Like I remember maybe Coco Beware. He was kind of like doing like interviews with where you just like gobble in the background. Coco's cutting promos.
Yeah. Like, and again, I maybe there's a loose tie there because Coco was the Birdman, I guess.
Yeah,
but
I mean, that's about as loose as you're getting there.
like, what more? It's absurd.
And then, like-
it's insulting because it's like, okay, it's not even a baby turkey, by the way.
No, it's a
that thing
full-grown turkey
hatches at
thing.
maturity.
Yeah,
which
it's already a full-grown adult.
that's some sort of weird life cycle
Something
for these
you
creatures.
could not sell
that-
at Whole Foods.
Because, like, the egg was bigger than it was at maturity. Like, I don't understand. It doesn't make sense.
Nope.
Okay, so
Definitely something you could not sell at Whole Foods.
no,
Because
absolutely.
it is definitely GMO, not free. It is pumped full of GMOs.
Never mind the fact that it's a human being.
And never mind the fact that it's a human
Okay,
being
so
playing
let's
a
do
turkey.
one more argument. One last thing from you, one more thing from me, and then I have business I got to attend to here.
Business.
Yes, business, wrestling business.
All right, fair enough. I don't like that maniacal laugh.
Okay, so.
So
Okay, of the Dungeon of Doom, what do you think is their peak of stupidity? Let's close on that. What do you think is their peak of stupidity, and then I'll get mine.
I mean, like, the entire frickin' thing.
They started
pretty
off hot
bad.
and never went down.
The guy shows up at a pay-per-view, and weeks later, just weeks and weeks later, he never does anything. Like, there's no clear-cut reason why he is so against Hulkamania ending. Just that, I need
you're
to
right,
end
yeah.
Hulkamania.
Yeah, the whole thing is just
Yeah.
he's just
And, like, it's never clearly defined why
Hogan has done him no wrong.
he has done him no wrong. He may have done Kevin Sullivan some wrong, but he's
still,
never
like,
done
yeah.
Hulk Hogan any wrong. Or
Right.
Hulk Hogan's never done him any wrong. And then they run over Hogan's his motorcycle, which goes into the monster truck fight, where the Giant comes back perfectly fine, mind you, after
That he
falling
does,
off
after
the
falling
roof.
off of a skyscraper.
After falling off of a roof of off the Como Hall, he falls off of.
Health.
Comes
You gotta get
back
health.
perfectly fine. Oh God! Oh God! Somebody help! And just, I mean, the Yeti, who
I
shows up
think-
one time, wrapped full mummy gear, only to show up the next time you ever see him in, like, a mask and, like, wrestling gear with kick pads and nothing like the
man.
original Yeti.
I love, by the way, that the Dungeon of Doom was so crazy that the monster truck fight doesn't even break
That's
to
not-
like the top 5 craziest
That's not even the
things about it.
craziest
Like,
thing they ever did. And it's just, and Hulk Hogan going in there and touching the water. Oh,
Yeah.
it's not even
Okay, I do
hot.
remember that. Yeah.
Wait, what? It's not
because it's
supposed to
steaming
be
or
hot.
whatever. It's like, it's not even like, thanks
Oh,
for communicating
God,
that.
Jesus.
Okay, so I think that for me, the dumbest thing about the gobbledygooker is I'm always stuck on just the logistics of why did no one ask where the hell
Where
that
or
egg
why this
came
egg
from.
came from?
Just you show up to
Yeah.
work one day and there's an 8-foot egg, and nobody's like, wow, there's some gargantuan 40-foot turkeys roaming the American South out there. Like,
Yeah.
it's absolutely ridiculous. All right.
I think what we can come away from with this, though, is that those might be the two worst things from
Oh.
WCW and WWF ever.
Absolutely,
and
absolutely.
that covers a lot
A
of ground.
considerable amount of ground. Well, sir, it's been a pleasure. I thank you very much. We should do these more often.
You're an evil man.
Yes.
And I appreciate that.
I love you.
I love you, too.
Bye, guys.
Bye.